Welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's coverage of the 2023 Lundbyparken Open presented by Clash Discs. This is the second event of the 2023 Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour, and this is the final round back nine. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Max Regitnig.
What's up, guys?
Very excited to watch James Proctor and Eric Oakley battle it out with some upstarts from Sweden.
Yeah, Dennis and Axel definitely on the younger side, coming off their junior careers, entering the pro scene, and Axel coming off of that fire 12 down second round, definitely still in the mix, 2 strokes back of James, and Dennis a little bit behind, definitely looking to see some fireworks on the back nine to get him back in contention. But these guys definitely learning a lot, playing with these touring pros, very good opportunity for them, definitely a learning experience. Hole 10, par 3, 86 meters. We've been seeing a lot of people go this left side turnover, or also the right hand backhand hyzer down this gravel trail, but definitely a more cleaner line with the left side, as the right side kind of funnels you long in the basket.
We saw Dennis go forehand in round 2 and now backhand. Interesting to see that shift in his game plan. Proctor throws the right side hyzer. And Oakley has been going up the middle with a putter.
Yeah, a lot of these par 3s, not the longest distance. You can kind of choose what you're comfortable with, powering up on a slower disc or taking some off and going for a bit more fairway driver. But 86 meters definitely more towards the putter or the mid. Highs are probably going maybe fairway driver. Axel getting a little bit of unlucky ground play and a roll, but definitely an open putt for him.
Yeah, really good nose-up shot to curb his distance. Ensure he got left enough, just a little bit of extra nonsense on the ground. Dennis with a good run, but comes up short cage. Axel for his comebacker. This is kind of this is a little bit of a tester for 14-year-old player playing on a card with some American pros, but he is up to that test. Nicely done by Axel.
Does not lack the confidence there. Able to keep the pace. Yeah, getting back to this. I mean, last 9 holes, you know what's on the line, and you're right in it. Tied with Eric as he picks up another birdie.
And both of you getting a stroke on Proctor as he's about to par.
Yeah, down to 1 stroke, so it's heating up on this back nine.
And Dennis will tap in his par, and that moves us on to hole 11. At 110 meters, we're going pretty straight off the tee, and then going to break right and downhill over some rocks. Pretty much a blind basket. Likely to see counterclockwise shots. Proctor might go backhand turnover.
No! You're so mean.
Looks like the last tree he had to beat to get down to the basket. But might still have a long circle 2 look.
Yeah, Oakley's been not afraid to run anything, even with rotten footing, downhill, wind.
Axel lining up the backhand. See if he's got the shape for this one. Plenty wide, but yeah, maybe the same tree Eric just lit up. So got a bit of a nasty kick there too. So might have a bit more of a longer look for his birdie look.
Yeah, kind of a slow, dejected walk back to that bench. And I noticed that Axel has a very long reach back.
Yeah, I mean, at 14, probably still growing. Definitely has that Gannon Burr build, long, lanky. I mean, he seems to have decent power, so if he can get his technique down tight, he could probably put the disc out there pretty far.
Mm-hmm. But may need to figure out how to shorten it up and control a little differently in the woods. Oakley does lay up, and this is Axel for his 3. Yes, that's a scramble par.
Back-to-back huge putts by Axel. Unfortunately, that one for par, but I mean, definitely stopping the bleeding there. Not leaving anything out there.
Dennis just beating up the front of the cage right now. Proctor for birdie. Able to convert.
Yeah, James able to extend his lead back to 2, as this is Eric's par putt.
And does knock down.
Hole 12, big par 5 here. You just have to navigate this first initial wooded section. Then we're going to go out into the open for the second shot. Going to find some tight OB stakes. Got to keep it clean. Big open approach up to this basket. Some big rocks protecting the green, so you definitely have to get over it or around it. Kind of choose your shape into this basket.
Pretty consistently, this has been one of the harder holes on the course today, no exception. Playing as the 4th hardest, 0.18 over par. Proctor with a good shape, but doesn't break early enough and gets tapped down in the middle of the fairway. Oakley, this is leaking inside. He went out of bounds doing the same kind of thing yesterday.
Looks like he might have put the brakes on late. And I remember last round he had a pretty good angle out into the field, so might have gotten that same angle without taking the penalty stroke.
Yeah, good result if you can get it. Axel, fairway shot, doesn't get full distance, but should line up a hyzer for his second. And kind of a similar result for Dennis.
Yeah, 254 meters for a par 5, not the longest by any stretch, but these first couple shots are kind of handcuffed into, unless you can get out into the open with a great first shot, you can't really fully open up on this second shot out into the field.
And you see that mandatory that players have to run around to the right side. Oakley does that part, but finishes OB.
Yeah, it looked like he swung it out a little too wide, and it never had the time to make it back in bounds.
And this is a good disciplined golf play by Axel.
Yeah, again, not the biggest distance, so he's probably got 110, 120 meters into the pin here, so definitely within reach. So pitching up to the Mando and not messing around with, maybe doing a similar mistake as Eric and leaving it out of bounds. Picking a comfortable distance that he knows he can execute.
Proctor takes the maximum extent of his lie to get off that rock and then jacks a hyzer to the bullseye.
Yeah, it landed right on that rock. Hopefully that disc didn't take too much damage. Eric following suit, getting some rock action.
I tell you what, these guys are trying to show Clash's durability, I reckon.
Yeah, good advertisement there. Hopefully, as long as they don't come up to the disc and it's in 2 pieces, but looks like two birdie putts from James and Eric.
This was definitely closer to the out of bounds than I'm sure young Axel would have desired. Dennis, the casual flip in for his birdie.
Clean putt from Dennis. Still looking to get something going on the back 9. 3 down for the round. Not quite up there for contention of the win, but coming off a win in Oakley, in the Swedish national tour last week. So maybe still coming off that high. But good to see Dennis showing his skills on the big stage.
Yeah, definitely. Coming in here and, you don't have to win every tournament for it to be a good season.
Yeah, especially in the MPO division. I mean, the Swedes just learned to get on that coverage.
More spice. Is that good?
Check out the whole lineup at clashdisc.com.
Hole 13, 131 meters as a par 3. This is the second hardest hole on the course on the day. There's a lot of hazard bounded by out of bounds, but everything inside a couple groupings of rocks plays as safe. Likely to see 4 attacking shots trying to get to the second cluster of rocks around the basket. And Proctor actually going to go long, play a little backboard.
Yeah, I'm sure, unless it was a really strong wind, I'm not sure if any of these guys would even consider the layup play to the first island. And Dennis scaring the basket there, getting all the way up to the rocks and getting some action there towards the pin.
Yeah, use the rocks as a ramp, huh? Oakley trying to do the same. Does come up a touch short, but inbounds. And
showing the distance of the forehand. Or
I think it's just the layup play to that first inbounds island. So well done by Axel, not being intimidated by the rest of the card. Just going to play his little game plan, but this is leaking right. Still is a putt, though.
Yeah, not quite sure what is in Axel's wheelhouse distance-wise, so maybe just 131 meters, not too comfortable landing it in that island, not wanting to give up too many strokes, going for the par play, and executes it to his game plan.
Although the field played this hole at .28 over par, Eric has a chance to go 3 down in general for the card. And does. So nicely done.
Hole 14, 204 meter par 4, pretty wide open, have all the airspace you want to shape this big first shot. And second shot, again, kind of a OB backstop behind the basket, just kind of angling towards this corner. So definitely speed control on the second shot, but you can definitely unload on this first drive.
Absolutely, and Proctor does exactly that. Hyzer flip, kind of leaks out towards the left, but he has done quite a bit of work, nearly 150 meters of the 204. Dennis, still a good crush. That'll leave him another backhand in.
Yeah, Eric able to card the eagle here in round 2, but didn't get too much distance off the tee, so it looks like he might have bit off a little more. See if he can follow up the throw-in from yesterday.
The trouble is he's thrown it past his throw-in range now.
Right.
He hasn't practiced from that good distance.
Not smart. Axel leaking out to the left, but still wide open upshot for this par 4.
Gonna play a force over flex forehand, and very well controlled.
Very nice. We've seen a couple forehands from Axel, and it looks like he's got both the turnover and the flex down. That one definitely very controlled. Dennis finding that bush. Unfortunately, going to have a pretty lengthy birdie look.
Oakley overshoots a little bit, but still in putting range, and Proctor just going to kill the speed on the ground.
Yeah, like you said, probably only had 50 meters left. Nice soft putter up shot.
And Dennis from a hole hits the front cage. Oakley from a knee finds chains.
Yeah, Dennis has hit the front cage a good handful of times these last couple of rounds. So, I mean, if he connected on half of those, he'd be right up into it. So he's definitely giving himself chances, just not quite putting it home.
For sure. And the putts he's been missing low haven't been,
tap-ins.
7 meters. They've been bonus looks from well outside the circle.
Yeah. Definitely lethal from circle 2 and in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even circle 3, he's got a really, really good loft putt, so he can, just put it in the air and let it glide all the way there.
Hole 15, 97 meters. Again, the easiest hole on the course. Elevated basket. There is out of bounds, short and long, but I imagine we're going to see 4 pretty comfortable hyzers as the wind is down.
Think so, bud.
Yeah, that ad wall maybe getting in your head if you don't kind of get it up in the air. Maybe you're looking for some ground play. That OB short can come into play, but 97 meters, you kind of want to, I mean, I would probably imagine a lot of spike hyzers coming right on top of the basket. They have this mound off to the left as a kind of a backstop for that shape, so, and as Axel does just that.
Kind of a weird reaction, but note that he's going mid-range there to help control the speed. And this is a little faster, I believe, from Dennis, and that is curling towards the out of bounds, but does stay safe.
Yeah, I mean, if James is the longest putt here, I think we all have a pretty good opportunity at the birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Circle 1 for pretty much all of our players here.
And a frustrating miss there for Oakley. That'll give Axel a chance to equalize into second place. And he barely does that, but it's in.
Yeah, that elevated basket maybe getting in the heads of these players. A lot of cage and band hits, but James and Axel are the only ones to be able to card the birdie.
We talked about a little bit in round 2 how this is a little unusual for Swedish courses to have a lone elevated basket. So perhaps unusual to them.
Hole 16, 166 meter par 4. After being out in the open, we're bringing it back to the woods here. We've seen people maybe struggle a little bit to hone in, focus up for this woodsy dogleg left, and then a little bit of a slope down to the basket to the right. Can't bite off too much from the tee, but probably fairway drive, maybe distance driver if you want to get some ground action, but definitely want to be in the fairway on this one.
Absolutely. Definitely playing as the hardest hole on the course today. Well over par for the field. And Axel, there's a pretty good shot, but boosts hard right.
And yeah, that's probably why it's playing as the hardest hole. Just thick, rough off the fairway. And like I said, coming out from playing a lot of open holes in a row, sometimes it is tough to kind of switch the mindset, focus up to hit this gap. Eric, maybe a little bit left, but able to get most of the distance he was looking for.
And a nice forehand from Dennis will set himself up in the fairway. And you see the frustration, kind of an unforced error by Axel, now having to burn another shot just to lay up.
Yeah, hole 16 showing its teeth. And Axel maybe coming a little unraveled here.
Yeah, it's tough to manage the nerves, and his first shot wasn't even that bad. It's the second shot that might keep him up at night thinking about missed opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes once you try to go for that big scramble play and it doesn't work out, then you have to take your medicine. It just kind of adds up in your head, and then you start, being a little frantic. So would like to see Axel calm down and finish strong on the last few holes here.
Yeah, couple good forehands in, just using stability. And Dennis with his jump putt for the approach. Oakley going to knock down, moving himself to 23 under overall. And Axel for 6. You don't want to have to take a double bogey putt, but still need to focus up. Does so successfully.
Yeah, I mean, really cool to see Axel being so young, so new to the pro scene, to come out and, I mean, really show his talent on this footage. Really, yeah, admirable to see him. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is probably his first blunder on the final round here.
Maybe on the tournament. Hole 17, 91 meters. Going to be a straight shot with a right finish onto a pretty flat green that's well protected by clusters of trees. And going back to that thought, Axel and Dennis and the other players we've gotten to see on this coverage are going to be able to, as Proctor ace runs, just kind of running up the score here, they're going to be able to go back and see themselves on coverage and see how they attack the course and learn from it.
For sure.
For Oakley and Proctor, this event is a big deal as a promotional opportunity, but every single week they're in pressure situations.
Yeah, it's not every day you find yourself on coverage. I know there's a few media teams starting to film these bigger Swedish events, but to have it on Gatekeeper Media as well, to reach this fan base is pretty big deal for these Swedish players. And yeah, looking forward to seeing all these Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour events being a little limelight on them.
Proctor in for his birdie, and that moves him to 13 under. If he can do nothing crazy on hole 18, that would be the new course record. And yeah, I absolutely agree. It's for a mostly American audience. We should be excited to see disc golf in developing countries and see young pros outside of the U.S. Hopefully there will be some opportunities as the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the European Open occur for U.S. players to go play with and see the way that other places are doing this.
Yeah, Dennis and Eric in for the birdie.
So a star frame on 17.
Hole 18, finishing hole for the tournament. 76-meter island hole, playing quite a bit downhill. These wooded logs surrounding the green here, marking the OB.
Proctor to the standstill backhand, trying to turn it over, and actually going to come up short, out of bounds. He does have lots of strokes to burn.
I'm sure he wanted that just for bragging rights, but still has a decent putt to save his par to keep that 13 down course record.
Oakley inbounds. He should be able to close out with a pretty routine birdie, and Dennis going to pull his shot over. We saw him struggle in round 2 taking a bogey on this same hole.
Yeah, it looked like the same tree he hit in the round 2. So, and I think he threw the forehand, so maybe just trying to shake it up, get a new fresh look at it. And unfortunately, Axel, I think it was Axel, also coming up outside the island.
Proctor with the knockdown, good par save, and a great tournament for him. He will end up your Lundbyparken Open champion for 2023. Dennis Augustsson.
Nice to see the love from the crowd here for Dennis. Great finish for him. Unfortunately not a birdie, but nice looking putt. And Eric finishing his tournament off with a birdie. And looks like 25 down, solo second place. And Axel, unfortunately, taking the bogey to finish, but great showing from him.
Axel Wernborg.
Axel taking the 3rd place.
Well done by Axel.
Second place, minus 25, Eric Oakley.
Nice that he switched to English for Eric for him to understand that second place.
Yeah, there's only...
Total of -28. James Proctor.
I think there's only 2 words in those sentences they would have understood if it was all in Swedish. Only their names.
Yeah.
Love to see the love. I talked to James and Eric afterwards, and they were completely complimentary of the way that Axel and Dennis, as well as the other players they got to play with, performed. We hope you'll join us for event number 3 of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour. Starts on June 1st, and we'll have coverage out a couple weeks later at the RPM Open. And Max, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for providing the local knowledge of Sweden.
For sure. And I mean, looking at that leaderboard, I think 8 of them are borderline junior players. So a lot of talent coming out of Sweden from that junior category.
We all better watch out. Thank you so much for joining us. For Max Regitnig, I'm Andrew Fish, and we'll see you at the RPM Open.